and sang a song called Delilah that night at the age of 5. And people threw money on the stage, and I gave all the money to my mother. And so for my whole life, till my mother died at 84, I worked for my mother. My money I made, I gave to her. My mother is the reason I'm standing on stage. But I'm telling you so that you understand. So the house that I grew up was a suitcase. The age wat ek in geboorte was a suitcase. En het toilet daar in die aard wat ons wil het self skoon gemaak. Daar was hier een flush, daar was die toiletpaper. Ons het newspapers gebruik, ons het rainpaper gebruik. En na die toilet, as ons klaar met die toilet is, dan maak ons een gat in die aard. Dan moet ons eie gemos skoon maak. Ons het die water gegeven, so water. Dat doen die mensen dat water geven in de wereld. Ons het die elektriciteit gegeven. Daar was kerst en amp. En jellies op het ruim kwam. So de kleintje wat ik nooit, want ik heb die kleren gegeven, die schoenen gegeven. En so, mijn maat moet eten, wijn voor ons kost hebben beleefd. Mijn maat moet gezien, ons moet gaan vragen aan zijn, wat voor een leven is, voor geld, voor brood, voor suiker, voor melk. So, my life as a child was very difficult. So I was 5 years old, and my mother and my brothers and my sisters were all amazing musicians, singers. My father was a great banjo player and singer. My mother was a singer from church. But life wasn't a bed of roses for us. Baie van my familie het nie gewerk. Want hulle staan 2, staan 3, of staan 7. Maar ek het, my educatie was staan 8. En ek het gelees, ek het Engels geleer in Durban, dat die mense nie geleer om Engels te praat. I learned to speak English with music. But I lacked in education I received in music. And if it wasn't music, I stand here. It's because God didn't need a clever person to bring Israel out of Egypt. It was a stuttering man. He couldn't even speak. He couldn't even articulate. But God said, "What is in your hand, Moses? Use that was in your hand." So God used this little voice I had, and He used this guitar I had. So as a little boy, I was singing. I was born in Cape Town, but then I was raised in Durban. I was raised in Joburg, in Fortsburg. I lived in Alpha Park. I lived in Boston. I lived in Victoria. I was traveling all over. But when I was on a traveling road show called the Golden City Pixies, we played at the showgrounds when I was 7 years old. I sang at the showgrounds, and that's where we slept. That's where we stayed. And that is where my life changed. I saw whites-only signs, blacks-only signs, colored signs in the city of Bloomington. And as a little boy, I couldn't go there, I couldn't go here, I couldn't use the toilet in the showgrounds. I had to go where it says colored and black. It was a very difficult experience for me as a little boy. And on top of it all, here in the showgrounds, y'all better listen carefully, young people, and everyone. Here in the showgrounds is where I first was molested in that showgrounds. I was a little boy at the age of 7, and the gentleman who owned the show molested me. Took away my innocence, and I lived in shame and fear and guilt and mistrust. Didn't trust anyone. So I'm standing in Bloomington, and I'm asking the Roberto today, where is the showgrounds? Show me the showgrounds. I want to go back to the showgrounds. I want to say to that showgrounds that God has rested and healed me. God has restored man. What the devil meant for evil, God turned it around for good. So some of you are sitting there in circumstances similar to mine and silent. There's no safe place for you. And I speak to the counselors here, I speak to the city, the arts and culture people. Create a safe space for young people. Create some space where they can feel safe, where they can talk to each other. Because I needed a safe space. I didn't have a safe space. This is a special kind of master class for you, because you need to understand that just because a man looks famous and rich on the TV, you don't know what his life was like before he got there. Before I got to where I am today, I had to struggle and strive and fight and cry and pray, and believe me, a lot of praying. Because to make it in this world, it's not just your talent. It is your character. It is your virtue. It is your name. Your name is more than money. Your name means more than silver and gold. So you must protect your name.